Hi, guys. Welcome back to I Bit the Apple, episode 4. For this episode, I'm actually going to be taking over as your host, and I'll actually be having a special guest today on our channel. You guys should be familiar with him by now. His name is Nicholas Lamb, and we are talking about what we would want to do for ideas for episodes for you guys, of course. And before I met Nick, I was agnostic, and I knew there was some sort of higher power out there. We both did before we were both believed, but we just didn't know what. And so Nick initially introduced me and brought me back to my faith, and so I always he's kind of my go-to person for all of my religion-based questions, and I just think his story as himself, like being lost and finding himself through faith, and this journey that he's come through in just a few short months is really awesome. And I feel like doing like a short interview and just kind of sharing that with you guys would just be, well, really cool and interesting. So, well, hey Nick, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing pretty well.
Well, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay. So my first question, we're just going to be doing 10 questions. We're going to try to keep this video as short as possible for you guys. First question, what initially sparked your interest?
It was definitely, um, man, just my addiction, my lack of TV and my addiction to YouTube. I own a TV, but I'm not much of a TV watcher, so I mostly watch YouTube videos, documentaries, and it's all, and it's funny because one of my friends told me this. Do you know what's correlated? Uh, people that believe that people that believe the flat Earth tend to find religion too, and it was around the time where I was finding these whole lies about NASA and the flat Earth, and I'm just like, what are they hiding? Because if we're in a flat Earth, and not the way you think of it, of course. I mean, people think of it. If we're in a flat Earth, that means there's someone watching. There's people watching, or something watching.
Interesting, definitely interesting. Okay, my second question. You mentioned, as you said, your vast interest in YouTube. So I guess, what are your sources? How did you find them, and what would you recommend to people?
My sources so YouTube and my sources. It started with a couple channels. Shout out to ODD Reality.
Free advertisement.
Free advertise. Chronicles of Judah 144. Truth Unedited. Feels like I'm missing one, but I found all those channels around the same time, and how it came to be just really weird. I don't know myself, but I started learning new things about. I thought I knew, but now I know better, and I found out these certain things that just were blowing my mind, and I said to myself, I know I'm crazy already, but what is this? What are they talking about? Um, my sources are the videos that I watch, and then it's cross reference. What they tell you, go ahead and look it up yourself. Uh, Chronicles of Judah 144. He said, "Look, man, I'm not gonna give you my sources. Go out there and you find them yourself." And what made me mad is I used to say the same thing. Where are your sources, Nick? Why should I tell you all my sources just so you can deny them, without a single minute of thought into them? So go out with curiosity, with questions. You own if you own a phone, you own Google, you own YouTube, you just have to own the questions. And make them good questions. Spark curiosity. Also, the books that I have countless of books.
Oh, I
Some that I
know.
don't even read. I just like the titles, and I'll get to them eventually. I'll get to them eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah, but curiosity, for sure. Curiosity, and just knowing that there's more to this world. You are important. That's a big driver. The biggest source is you, because you want to know.
Okay. Question 3. Obviously, you believe heavily in our dear Heavenly Father. You obviously have that deep personal connection with Him. So, what made you initially, I guess, like 100%, like no doubt, believe?
Um, there's two types of people in this world: politicians and everyone else.
Fair
And I'm part
enough.
of everyone else, and so
Thank
is almost
goodness.
everyone else. uh, but uh, the people that lead you, they fool you. Um, I was big into conspiracy theories about JFK, NASA, New World Order, the Pentagon, Iraq, just everything except for religion, and I just didn't connect the dots. And then I saw the people that, the wealth, the rulers, the wealthy, um, they are very satanic. So I said to myself, if they own all the money, own all the assets, all the food, all the power, if they control everything in the world, and they're going one way, it made me look and say, why? And then I saw why, and I said, how? And I went the other way. And I started walking, and now I'm running the other way because my Heavenly Father, that's salvation right there. And I know He's real because what's what's the alternative? Working till you're 85 and you don't know why your everything's getting cost, everything costs more and your money's worth less. You don't know why, but the people that rule you still fool you. What, and that's the alternative? Well, and I used to say, well, people only believe in religion because they want an alternative to death. But man, no, it's more than that. It
I
really.
say, I definitely, like, personally, I used to be like, oh, like, religious people are so ignorant. Like I can't believe, like, you have to, like, you're so in denial. Like, you need that comfort, you know? Like, that's how I used to look at it. And now I'm like, oh my God, like,
I
I was the ignorant one to view it like that,
I
you
used to
know?
make fun. Yeah, I used to make fun of religious people. I used to make fun of
Yeah.
people that used to say, "I can't wait till our Messiah comes." I said, people that say paradise. I mean, I used to say Earth is paradise because I used to be an atheist and a communist. I went through those phases. I I said, "This is my paradise. Stop destroying my Earth." But no, there's so much more. There's so much more, and there you definitely have. But to the other question, curiosity, because that what's gonna lead you, and that's what made me believe 100% for sure. That, and he speaks to you if you seek him, and you ask him questions. He will talk to you, and you really want to know. He will talk to you.
That's an awesome answer. Um, do you, do you really believe in God?
Most definitely, most definitely. I believe. I know he's real. I know he's real. What's the alternative? I don't want the alternative. I don't like the alternative, and I'm, I'm happy that there is an alternative to the alternative that is God, and I know I believe in Him because He believes in me. He talks to me. I have a personal connection with Him, And I'm not perfect, but He is my heavenly Father. He is my loving Father. I am His son, and it's a sometimes it's a rocky relationship because it's my fault.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
Okay. Next question. Do you believe in the devil?
Oh, yeah, if you believe in God, you have to believe in the devil, and he is real. The devil is real. And actually, the devil is the god of this earth. He is the god of this earth.
Can you elaborate more on that a
Um,
little bit?
he, a lot of people, to those who know the book of Job, where he goes and says, "Look at when God says, look at my at my servant Job. How isn't he a righteous man?" And he said, "He's only righteous because you give him all these things." And he said, "Do what you will to him, but don't kill him." And he took his family, gave him bad health. He was scorned by his friends, but he never lost his faith. The devil is real. He has control and power over many people, over many things, and you have to be you have to be very careful, because everyone I believe more people believe in God than in the devil, and it should definitely be 100 because they're both real, and one's working for you, wants to save you, the other one wants to damn you forever.
I definitely agree with that 100%. How long have you believed? Like, so through all of this, like journey or whatever, like, how long have you believed in all of this, would you say?
As a kid, I was raised Catholic. I was told about God, about His Son. But I've had many faces growing up. I didn't know whether He was real. At times, I was agnostic. At times, I was an atheist. I was blaspheming God. I was saying trying to make people not believe in Him. Actually, can you believe that? And then I had a communist phase, and just again, that's communism. Is atheism, just politically. Um, I have believed I was reborn around the time we met, maybe a month or two. I was reborn and I started watching these videos and I said, "Man, this makes perfect sense. This makes logical sense. I'm a logical guy. Makes sense to me. You know, I know BS where I know BS when I see BS." And um, I was I was Catholic. Then when I moved to Hutchinson, I was in with the Jehovah Witnesses, but I really didn't find my place in them. They gave me all the faith. They could have given more faith, but they never gave me the history, and I wanted history. And once I found the history, and I had the faith, I put two and two together, and I found my Creator, and I was reborn.
Awesome. So it's been about a year then.
About a year, yes, since I've been reborn.
You kind of answered this. You've kind of answered this throughout the interview itself, but specifically a lot in the past question. And if you, I don't know if you have more to elaborate on it to add, like just your past religions or beliefs.
So, yeah, I was definitely, uh, I was definitely an atheist at one point in my life. I said at that time I knew God was not real. He couldn't be real. I believed in science. I believed in technology. I believe that man was supposed to merge with machine, and we were gonna become gods of our own and all these things. But now I look at it, if we don't even control the phone we have on our hands right now, What makes us think we're gonna control mechanical or organic parts in our own body? What makes you think that? That's crazy talk. Now that I see back at it, that's crazy talk. Then I have my communist face, Fidel Castro, Viva la Revolución, Che Guevara. I was all about my communism and down with capitalism. And maybe capitalism is wrong too. I mean, it's not true capitalism, but I had my communist phase, and I was very avid. I was just down with capitalism, and you get to find out the truth about communism, and you say to yourself, "Wow, just what isn't a lie? What isn't a lie?" But I think that's an episode on its own.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that and my atheism, because those were a lot of years of my life.
I know, like, on our next video, we're gonna talk about like why this is like correct, like how we know like this is true and all of this. But can you just give me like a brief summary of like how, like, I guess like what what motivates your faith, like, like what makes reassures
So like,
you.
what makes you want to say I'm right, you're wrong?
Yeah. Basically.
Again, there's two kinds. The first argument is there's two kinds of people in this world: politicians and everyone else. And if I made innuendos about me knowing certain things, let's say we were in a party and I made innuendos of me liking a girl, or me starting a rumor, or me saying things that just don't someone wouldn't say for a reason, right in front of your face, wouldn't you think something? That's exactly what's going on everywhere in our daily life. It's in front of our face. We just don't see it. We just write it off as something else. Why not? Why I'm right and wrong, and you're wrong? Because I can give you, and this will be the next episode, I will elaborate more, but I can give you all the things that you need to liberate yourself. I know I'm right because he has told me. There are other gods. We have to admit this. There are other gods. Zeus is a god. Neptune is a god. Lucifer is a god. Some kings saw themselves as gods. Nimrod saw himself as a god. Adam could have been seen as a god to other people. Muhammad can be seen. I mean, he's a prophet, but he's exalted to God status almost. There are other gods, but which one's the right one? I believe mine is, because he's the oldest one. He was before Abraham. Before Abraham, he was. I am.
Very nice. Okay. Second to last question. Do you have any advice or words for people that are looking like to either become reborn in their faith, or looking to learn and explore religion, specifically this one?
Don't start. Don't start with your churches. Don't. I mean, and that sounds kind of wrong. I'm sorry, but start with yourself. Make your own. Ask your own questions. How did Adam die? How did Eve die? Who was Cain? Who is the devil? Ask yourself these questions, and with your own curiosity, find your answer, and pray. And then if you want to, go to your priest, go to your bishop, and ask him those questions. And if you don't like the answers, it's because it's probably not the right one. They're not giving you the right answer. Read books beyond. There's a fundamental thing we have to agree upon, that there are lost books in the Bible. And what's right and what's wrong, look, I couldn't tell you. I can only tell you that pray, and he will tell you. And he tells me that these are right. The first and second book of Adam and Eve tells you a lot about Adam and Eve. the Testament of Solomon tells you about how King Solomon made the devil work for him to build the temple of God. The book of Enoch talks about, in the Bible, Enoch is mentioned before he was no more because God took him, and then nothing else. But the book of Enoch tells you this whole story that he sees God and he sees the fruit, the trees of good and evil, and just wow, so many questions you had are finally answered, and that's awesome. But look, people are not going to tell you the truth. There's no money in the truth.
Okay, yeah. And then our last question, what's your favorite story that you've read or learned or stumbled upon so far?
I, it's a tie between the Testament of Solomon and the book of First Enoch, the book of Enoch, because the Testament of Solomon, King Solomon prays to God to deliver, to help him save this little boy's life, and he gives him a ring that he's able to control every spirit in the air, on the ground, below, under the earth, and then you have Enoch, who is one of the only two people that didn't die, and in the whole entire timeline of man, and he talks to God, and he sees God, and he sees all these things, and you're just blown away because no one told you these things were out there. And like I told you, I pray that these things are true, and they are true to me, and he tells me they are true, and I believe anyone who truly believes will find the same answer as me.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on I Bit the Apple episode 4. That's all we have for you guys tonight. We definitely will, hopefully should be putting out a video tomorrow night. Kind of a part 2 to this video, kind of just explaining the proofs of like for the basis of like this specific branch of religion, like what we have, like what we believe in, and like why we believe it's right, why this is the correct one to practice, and such, etc. So thank you guys for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you back very soon. Have a great night.
Thank you, guys.